an award-winning Scrabble champion, Ajulo Okawe. You're welcome to ABS Sports.
Thank you so
this
much.
Morning. This morning, you know how we do it. We bring up some of the highlights of the happenings in the world of football, and we discuss some of the stories, you know, that happened during the course of the weekend. English Premier League have just started, and a lot is happening. I don't want to go deep into it because my colleague will be very upset, you know. But I don't want to go in there for that.
Of 38.
And a lot of things is just, you know, unraveling about their club. But it's well. We're not going there this morning.
No
but
problem.
Yes, let's talk about some of the things that are happening in Nigerian football. All right, the Flamingos coach Bankole Olowokere invites 35 for Dominican game. That is, we're talking about the under-17 female World Cup that will be coming up sometime this year, and Dominican Republic. And the coach Olowokere has invited 35 of the Flamingos players to come. 35 players in camp, and the World Cup is at hand. Is that a good start?
Yeah, in fact, we even need more than that in order to get the very, very best of the athletes, the players that we need in order to execute a fine performance. Sometimes it baffles me how Nigerians tend to do so well in these age grade categories, and then when they get to the senior, they begin to falter. And that is something that the NFF will actually need to look into, even though we all know globally in sports that grooming these youngsters early in life tends to take more of time for them to actually mature and implement the strategies of the coaches. But then to Nigerians, we find that so easy. But then transiting from the under-17, under-20 down to the Falconets or the Super Eagles, you begin to have that bridge, begin to wonder why is it not happening, or why we're not winning laurels, why we're not so successful in that aspect. So 35 players, in my own understanding and estimation, is not even enough, sincerely speaking. If we really need to make that stance that we need the very best, spread these things. And this is under 17, and this should be the cradle of international football. So we need to, like, how many of these 35 players are actual new graduates from secondary schools, are still people in secondary schools, because averagely 17-year-olds should either just finish secondary school or even still secondary school if you're trying to merge soccer and academics. So these are the youths that we need in order to establish our presence in this age grade category. And we are not going there to go and win it per se. We are going there to go and give experience to these youngsters.
But is there anything wrong if we are going there to win?
No. If you need to go there to win, then that means you need to have had a team.
Nobody has a team ab initio. You know, he has been there.
I know. Then you need a team that you probably must have been building over time, not at the assemblage of FIFA under-17 World Cup. You now get 35 players and then you want to go and win. You don't win by chance. You win by adequate preparation. You understand? You win by proper funding. You become success even when you have the determination and the desire. And we are talking about football. Football is not one-man sport like tennis. You understand? Football is a team effort whereby a team of 11, 8 players with the right mindset, with the right frame, adhering to coach's instruction, can deliver on a particular day. But if it were a one-man show, either your taekwondo, you're fighting yourself, or a boxing stuff, it is you and then the information your coach has gathered about your opponent. So to me, 35 is not bad, but I want that grooming to come from the cradle. Like we say, this is under 17. Why should we be going to tournament and this to win it? And then at the end of the day, we can't transcend to under 21. We can't transcend to the Olympics. We can't even transcend to the national team.
Okay. 35 players in camp to start preparation for the under 17 female World Cup that is coming up in Dominican Republic. All right, we wish them luck and believe that they're going to be, assemble the right set of players that will do the country proud. Because the last Olympic, the just concluded Olympic, is not something that should near our history. not something we should, write down to
your minister,
assume it.
Your minister
assume it. We shouldn't even assume that we went to stuff like that. So, but, well, let's just keep our finger crossed, see how it's going to go. All right, the former Sweden coach to be appointed the Super Eagles coach. We're talking about Jenny's Swedish coach, Andersen, to be named the Nigerian Super Eagles coach. After about roughly 3 months that Finidi George resigned his position as the Super Eagles coach, controversially, we have been there looking out to know how we'll be able to get the right set of coach to take over the aims of affairs that will be able to qualify us, because as it stands, we are in a very precarious situation in our group. A lot of coaches have been named, Sanfiti.
Javier Lenato of Saudi Arabia and France.
And the Malian coach, Chile, has been, called upon. But the ministry has to take over the appointment of the coach, because they're not too satisfied with the level of coaches that has been, that wants to be appointed. And now they've come up with a Swedish coach who was the immediate past Swedish coach, Jenny's Andersen. Well, let's look at it. Is this a right direction? The ministry, are they in the right direction by going all the way themselves to, appoint this Swedish coach? And do you see this man doing wonders? Let's take a look at what Lagerbäck did before, the first Swedish coach that has coached the country. So how do you balance this?
Honestly speaking, I'm not in support of this. I've said it several times on different platforms that this is the 21st century, for Christ's sake. This is the period where we should be consolidating on indigenous coaching. Our indigenous coaches, you've seen how everything goes. How much time the player, not about the time. How much time it's not about it. We do not have the indigenous coach that has placed us where we are now. We are now beginning to do arithmetic, arithmetic progression. Indigenous coaches put you where you are, then what is the essence of having Nigerian coaching school? What is the essence of having Nigerian, what is it called? As it stands now. Wait, Nigerian Sport and Youth Federation. What is the, so now somebody would be a Nigerian coach, go to school, graduate, have a certificate, and he can never aspire to be the coach of the national team. But a lot of them are there. Must all of them be part of, must all of them be coaching the Super Eagles? That is what I'm telling you. Allow these people to grow in the job. Not now. Now we are in a very tight, and we are on the verge. We are on the verge of losing out. Hiring a machinery to do quick fix is not going to give you long-term success. But let at the first as it stands now. Okay, listen to me. The countries that are successful in football, go and check the antecedents. But as it stands now, we need that quick fix. As it stands now, let's come out of it first. You missed out on the last World Cup. You had a foreign coach at the aims of affair. You didn't qualify for the next World Cup. You had an indigenous coach. Even though it was even though it was just too short, 2 games. And was indigenous coach asked to resign? Why wouldn't he resign when he asked him to do that? The heat of the kitchen was too much. Because he was having issues with the players. So that's the problem. What is the guarantee that the foreign coach will have issues with you? See, when he comes, you don't count your eggs before they're hatched. I still say that NFF is still towing the part of the wrong part, sincerely speaking. If we must grow our sport, if we must grow our game, we claim that football is the #1 sport in Nigeria, even though the lawyers are not there to actually show that football is the #1 sport in Nigeria. There are other sports. Take Scrabble, for instance. With little or no support from government, we are doing great in that aspect of the game, and we don't have foreign coaches. This is just determination from individual players trying to make themselves go to the limelight. If a foreign coach were going to come into Nigeria, is he going to make the players that are not disciplined to be disciplined? If an indigenous coach were to come to Nigeria, because players that are applying their trade abroad are earning big money, would that make them to be disrespectful to their indigenous coaches? These are the areas where we need
one of the things, yes, I totally agree with you, but one of the issues we must look at is that most of the times when the indigenous coaches come, when the foreign coaches come, most of them do not believe in those already made players. These are one of the issues the indigenous coaches do have. They will always want to go for the established, while the foreign coaches will always want to go for the people that will give them what they want. And this has always been the problem with them.
Yeah.
You take from when Olise came on board.
Yeah.
Even when Keshi was successful, because if you look at the level of players he used, Sondemba and people like that who were little that are not known, he has to go for them and pick up few of those that are known who are disciplined, and he got him their result. Now so many other indigenous coaches do not have that moral listing. How many of them have been sanctioned? How many of them have issues? Salisu Yusuf, you know how it ended. I don't know if you understand.
I understand what you're trying to say.
The aspect is that I want to agree with you that the administration needs to buckle up. We need the people who understand what football administration is all about to be there. One. Then we must all as well get the right set of people to control the affairs.
Well, I agree with you.
Then when you look at our club side, the Nigerian Premier League, it's nothing to write home about.
That is what I'm saying.
So that's where the problem lies. That's
why I'm saying that is why we need to catch this thing from the very, very beginning. So when you're trying to fix this thing, you go to the
why it stands now. Why I think the minister is insisting that we need a foreign coach is because we're in a very tight situation.
A tight situation that we can get out of if only we can look inwards and then find a solution.
So who do you think that's going to handle that?
Sincerely speaking, Ekweme, I believe in long-term plan, even though you're going to be...
The long-term plan now is what we will do later.
How long is this guy going to stay?
Because what the minister is trying to avoid now is going to be an aberration that we didn't go for the last World Cup. And this present one, we are struggling.
You're struggling, and you might not go for it.
Even with the foreign coach. Maybe let him do all that is within his powers now, then, and see how it goes.
Well, let me tell you something. The last successful foreigner we had was able to be successful because he had to break barriers
and protocols,
and was dealing directly with the head of state as of that time. Now, the NFF, as we all know, is a bunch of corrupt people. For you to get successful in Nigerian football, he has to take sheer grit from the players to deliver Nigeria's success, because NFF is not there to plan for the growth of football in Nigeria, as the case may be.
Well, let's move forward.
You can't have a successful league. I mean, you can't have a successful national team, and then you don't have a good league to back it up. That's
a very big story that we need to X-ray in another
problem.
Because what you've just said is exactly
what
the problem is.
How can you be telling me you want to go to
we didn't go to under Olympics?
Yeah.
We didn't go to under 17. It's a very big shame.
Exactly.
And because you all bosh them because we do not have a very viable league.
Exactly.
And that's the truth about it.
That is it.
And that is why you see so many of the Nigerian Premier League players are going to countries where we are far 100 million times better than them, going there to seek greener pasture. And they will all be called foreign-based players, just because we do not want to put our house in order. Well, let's see how it goes. All right, Nigerian fans are clamoring for Samson Siasia to be called upon to the Super Eagles as his 5 years ban ends. Samson Siasia was in a very precarious situation where he was banned. Ab initio was banned for life, and after the Court of Arbitration looked upon it, and they were able to reduce his ban to 5 years. And now the ban is ending this month, and people are clamoring for him to be called upon to assist in the Super Eagles coaching issues. Do you think it is right for him to be in the Super Eagles?
Well, I think he's right, but not immediately after serving 5-year ban. I don't know what the nature of the ban was. Probably, was he in the doldrums? He had no contact with football.
Anything that has to do with football.
So you don't expect somebody that has been 5 years away from football activities, both coaching and then probably maybe watching and everything like that, to just come back and handle the national team. I think they should rather give him time, probably send him on a refresher course, or probably get him attached to a foreign club side so that he can get back into the mainstream of what football is talking about currently. And then this is one of the most successful coaches Nigeria has ever produced. Silver medal at the World Under-20 Championship, silver medal at the Olympics, and I think bronze medal in one other Olympics too. So when you have people like this coming out to say, okay, fine, we'll have what it takes in order to probably give you give a shot at coaching Nigeria national team, then you probably be considering these things. Because if you look around you, the successful teams in your African league or your African continent are people that are played in the national team and that are, you know, there to, let's say, run the national team. And then this transcends beyond just coaching the team, but then they are still running the affairs of the FA. Who amongst the ex-player or administrator do you know that is heading the Nigerian FF, the Nigerian Football Federation? These are the problems what we're having. So now, people clamoring for Samson Theatre to come back. There are a lot of Nigerian coaches. If actually we choose the growth of our league, good enough, we're having ex-players coming back to coach in our league. The likes of Kanu Nwankwo managing, what is it called? Enyimba, and then Finidi taking care of Sharks, and now, I mean, before Enyimba, now Sharks. You understand? So these are the areas where we begin to say, okay, fine. With the wealth of experience you guys have gathered, why don't you come home and begin to like transcend those things in our local league and make it viable? Equipment, $400,000 for Champions League qualification round. Champions League qualification round. $400,000 is good enough for Remo Stars and what is it called, Enugu Rangers, to transform those teams. With $400,000 injected into those teams, I'm sure the fortunes of those teams will improve. What is the NFF doing in order to assist these clubs that are representing Nigeria in continental tournaments? Because we won't compare ourselves with the European leagues.
Yeah.
Because most times, most of these teams are government funded. You understand? So what is the NFF doing in order to booster these things? What are they doing so that this money can be brought into Nigerian Management League? What are they doing? So that this money can be brought into the NFF, I mean into the Nigerian League, and then these teams will become good enough to improve the standards of the league that we have in this part of the world.
Well, the truth about it is that we need to declare state of emergency in Nigerian sports, and that is the truth about it.
Sincerely speaking, you just said it.
We need a state of emergency to be declared, and if the president of a truth is interested in making sports viable in this country, there needs to be a total overhaul. Because that
show of shame at Paris is
a very big shame. It's not something to. We don't even need to remember that we did something like that. It's very, very appalling that we don't prepare. We always prepare to fail. That has always been the issue. Because up till now, we don't understand what is happening in our league. Our home league is in shambles, and these are things that needs to be addressed. All right, we're still talking sports on ABS Sports Plus this Tuesday morning. Dele Bashiru was on to start to finish with his new club, Lazio FC, where they play 3-1. Lazio defeated Venezia of Italy. And Dele Bashiru was part of the success. And the coach was very happy with him, irrespective. He said that he needs to develop in 3 areas, positioning, and so that he could be able to score goals more. That's Dele Bashiru, the new boy in our Super Eagles. As well, Ndidi started a new life in the English Premiership as Leicester City are back to the Premiership, and they had a 1-1 draw against Tottenham FC, where Ndidi played full 90 minutes in the game. As well, Gundogan have announced his retirement from international football. Gundogan is well known, a German player who started playing for the German team in 2011, and he has scored a lot of goals for them. Now he said it is time for him to concentrate more
on his club side.
On his club side. He's 33 years, and he has called it a quit with the German national team. Gundogan, from Man City to Barcelona, retiring at 33, while Cristiano Ronaldo is still playing at 36. But still playing at 36 for the international. 39, I guess, yes, 39.
That is individual difference, you understand? If you feel that you still have it, after all, Eric Cantona retired at 31 because he said that there was no longer passion. He wasn't getting that desire, that hunger was no longer there. So he retired. So these are based on individual differences. So Gundogan, believing that there is time, or right now is the time to give younger players the opportunity to step up. And then, well, the guy has really made his mark for both club sides and the German national team, you understand?
Yeah.
The Diamond Shaft. So I believe that there's nothing wrong in him calling it quit at this point. Even captain his team in the international tournament. So we definitely wish him all the best that he needs in order to deliver on the laurels. If Real Madrid will allow him, will I say, in the league there in
well, let's see how it goes. Because I watched the first game of Barcelona. It wasn't something to write all about.
Well, it's just guys are not doing well. Yeah. Guys are just they are shaking.
They need to work on their defense. They don't have defenders. They need to buy quality, tall defenders.
But Spain is global champion. You understand? European champion.
It doesn't matter.
What is it called? Champions League holder, under 19 European champions, under 7. Name it.
Tournament is quite different from La Liga. So well, they must understand that.
I understand, but I believe that being European champions,
their new coach needs to do something, exceptional, because with this, I don't see them
competing for Champions League.
No. It's not going to happen.
Well, it's still too early. They can still stand players.
All right, Thierry Henry resigns as France Olympic coach after winning the silver medal and they just concluded the Olympic Games. Thierry Henry, who is an Arsenal
legend.
Yeah, he's an Arsenal goat and played for Barcelona and some other club before. He has quit the French national team. He said he wished them well. I don't know, he still have more time to stay, but he decided to quit because maybe him thinks he didn't
live up to
his expectation.
Yeah.
But the France national team, the France Federation are happy with him. They were reluctant to accept his resignation, but they have to if he says. Call it a quit.
Now,
and these are things, okay, maybe Finidi George has been the first person to just resign honorably.
Now, when you talk about, when we're talking earlier on, when we're talking about Nigerian and then indigenous coaches and the rest of it, you now see somebody, Thierry Henry, former World Cup winner, home soil, France 98 and the rest of it, handling the under-23 team of the French national team. Now, took them to semi-finals and to the finals, you understand? Yes. Coming out with silver medal and then honorably resigning. That is what transition should be. And that is what we expect from federal government, from Nigerian coaching crew and the rest of it. That when we get to this level, indigenous players that have tested international waters should be given opportunity to run the affairs, because these people have better interest in development of the game in Africa than a foreigner that you bring.
That's exactly what it should be.
That's
exactly what should be. Okay, now look at the likes of Finidi George has been in Enyimba, carried the league with Enyimba. That he has built a credential. You talk about Emmanuel Amunike now with Heartland FC down in the relegated zone, where they are in the championship.
NFL.
Yes, NNL.
NNL, right.
Yes, he's there now. Siasia is being tipped to take over an NNL club as well as his ban ends. These are kind of things, innovations that we need.
So that these guys will come in, build.
When you always learn to organize workshops for the coaches, refresher courses. now we're going to appreciate them because they started a CAF grade C conference, coaching courses for women to come into coaching. You know, that's a good one. In as much as they are doing that, two things they need to do is to make sure that all our coaches are sound. It is under them, of course, for them to do that. You know, organize coaching clinic workshops for our Nigerian coaches, even for those aspiring more to be coaches. These are the things that will help us build our league, that will help the league. Because when these foreign-based players come back home, go into coaching courses, and you know, begin to handle some of the club sides, we begin to look at the IQ. We begin to see
of course, the begin to see.
John Otaka has applied to be part of the under Flying Eagles under 20. You know, these are kind of things because he has been coaching out there. So these are the things NFF should do. They should. This is a very serious business.
I don't know why we don't take it so serious in this part of the world. You understand? And then you say governments come up and be telling you that when tournaments of this nature, just taking like the just concluded Olympic, even though we're hearing conflicting stories about money being allocated for the execution of Olympics, and at the same time, the question is, do you release money 2 weeks before Olympics? What happens to the 4-year plan of an Olympic game?
These are the problem we have generally when it has to do with sports. Nigeria is a very funny country, you know, and the people manning the affairs of our sports, you know, most of them don't really understand what sports is all about. So it's always the problem. But that's not what we will be talking about today. Well, this is where we'll be drawing the curtain close on ABS Sports Plus this Tuesday morning. Jola, I want to thank you for being part of
It's always my pleasure to talk about sports. Yeah. That's what we eat and live and drink.
All right, this is where we'll draw the curtain close. My name is Telekweme Daniel. By next week Tuesday, I'll still come with more exciting stories. Bye for now.